Any query? Okay.
No, sir.
So today, my plan is like this. Today, we'll be just introducing this paper, and we all would try to understand, which you, of course, know, why research and what we exactly do if we take up a piece of research, how it is conducted. So this is what we'll be covering today in session number 1. And in the next session, we'll be covering the modules of research methodology paper. As I would specifically mention here, we'll be confining our discussion, and I will be trying to give examples from social sciences and management. And basically, we'll try to understand why research. So if I ask Smriti or Abha, my scholars, please don't feel bad. I would be having a expected bias of troubling you. So if I start with a very simple question, why research? None of you should answer me because we have taken admission in a PhD, that's why we are doing research. So this that is the expected answer. Other than that answer, can we also think of? I don't want to answer now. Maybe like after a couple of slides, I would be expecting your answer. So when I am referring the word research, all of you are requested. My submission, don't confuse the word research as doctoral research. This is just a piece of research. Any research could be like for developing a research paper also, okay? Any research project also. So it is not limited to a formal doctoral research course, okay? So that in a broad sense, we are trying to understand why people do research, okay? In that context, we are trying to understand. So today, in our discussion today, we'll be trying to understand, as I told, why people do research, what exactly done in research, and what are the stages or process of research. Okay, we'll be trying to present through examples a few basic concepts of research, but in the next session, I'll be taking off formally in a more structured manner. Today, I'll be trying to present a few examples so that indirectly we cover a few concepts. Okay, I'll start when I asked Abha why people do research. I would be rather taking the lead and trying to answer, but you are free to suggest, give your valuable inputs also.
Sure.
What I feel, research is just a self-motivated, a self-satisfying, and this is for knowledge creation. I get satisfaction when I do research. I enjoy doing research, and I get some self-motivation. And I know research is meant for creating some new knowledge, which is not there. We find it by means of our research. So all of you please try to note it down. Research ends up with creating some new knowledge. It adds to the knowledge base. And when we conduct a research, can I request you, please, all of you mute yourself, unless otherwise you have anything to ask me. All of you, please mute yourself. Thank you. So when you have completed a research, and you must also see that it is publishable and it is memorable. Can I just have some input what I mean by publishable?
That it can be shared with other scholars or other participants also, and their inputs can be taken.
Wow, great. Any other second input? I would be happy if all of you please participate. Let's make it not like a graduation or MBA class. Let it be like a participatory class.
It should be made available in a structured manner so that it can be added to any forum whatsoever, whether it's a book or a journal or a internet site or anywhere else.
Wow. Slightly better.
It should be reusable, and many others can take benefit out of it.
Okay.
It should be in a format which is understandable and recognized by all the people associated with research fraternity, and it can be taken as reference at different point of times for further research studies as well.
Okay. Just kindly permit me, just like let me have my input so that again we can like further continue the discussion. Publishable means we sincerely wish that it will be published. Published by whom? Smruti. Quick. Save time.
Published by the researcher.
Researcher or the journal editor.
Sorry, sir, journal.
You find a place in a decent journal, right?
Yes, sir.
So why the journal, why the editor will publish? Can I put it, why the editor will not reject our work? Abhishek Sarai, are you getting me? Quote my last sentence.
I think any research need to have its originality of the idea.
Wow.
I think that makes
fantastic.
it
That's a better answer. Abhishek, can you quote my last sentence? Be quick, save time. Unmute yourself.
Sorry, sir. So actually, why a journal should select our paper
Should
publish in the journal?
Should not reject. Suppose you are the editor.
Sir.
You'll be getting more articles than you publish. Do you agree?
Sir.
Abha, say for example, any newspaper.
Yeah.
You must be getting many articles. Do they publish all articles?
No.
Sir.
So they have got choice selection, and they have got also their editorial policy, right? So when we should expect that our piece should get a chance, should be published.
Sir, if it is unique and if it is hot topic in the market, current scenario.
Wow. That is that's what we are going to discuss today. Yeah.
Sir, I would like to add one more point. One is the relevance which they talked about. Second is the credibility of the writing or the research paper.
Wow. Fantastic. I liked it. Now you are participating in a real researcher-like forum kind of. Okay.
Sir, I will add two words. That is, one is affiliation, and the second one is the relevance of the topic to the particular journal. Because we cannot put our journal in medical sciences or something.
That's fine. That's agreed. Nice point.
Sir, I just want to add one more point. Sir, it should have some validity, and it should not be copied from anything, and it should have some originality.
Originality, right? Something new, something interesting, right?
Sir, I want to add one point. Sir, it should be relevant to the situation, and also it should meet all the expectation to the relevant topic.
Okay.
Professor, I think
can you proceed? Thank you. Thank you for participating. Maybe like I am happy that
our paper should create new knowledge, Professor.
Yeah. Fine.
And should be unique.
This is from the point of view of one editor, right? So he or she finds it's publishable. It's very interesting, and they should publish. Say, for example, me, maybe like if everything goes as per my plan, I may retire after 2-3 years, and I have something like called a saturation. So now, if at all I'm interested to do some research work, naturally I will also be adding thinking that my piece of work should be memorable. Okay, if I can do, I should do something better. Okay, suppose, say for example, 2 papers are requesting for some articles. If I have got a choice, I think of something like which is something interesting, memorable, and I can make it memorable. So now, why you are discussing? So when you are trying to start a piece of research, please try to recall what you all have suggested today correctly. It should be something relevant, it is something interesting, and it should be publishable. That's what, like, I'm very happy that you have all very succinctly answer why we should and how we should do a research and select a topic for our research. I think Mr. Amit Das was asking, can we also start our own doctoral research project for this mini research project? Now, what I have understood from your suggestions, very interesting suggestions, I think the topic should be interesting. Some of you had suggested. Then how to get a very interesting research topic? Actually, those who are writing stories or poem, they would agree with me that if you get some new idea, then half is done. Do you agree with me? Suppose you got a nice topic and your stories have made or created kind of thing. Okay. So if you really get a very interesting research topic and you really find that things will move faster. Okay. So how to select a good research topic? It is either given or decided, like say for example, some of you have suggested, your guide, supervisor, they might have suggested, why not doing this? Okay, it is given by somebody. Or say for example, me, I'm doing now 2-3 research projects funded by different agencies. So different agency wanted me to do something. So it is given. It includes solving a particular problem. Okay, I'll be introducing my research projects later, not today. So either it is given or decided, or mostly what happens in general, if you ask me, the first one is 30% and the next one is 70% more than that. If you think that number of research articles getting published, most come from the second point, self-driven. You get idea, you do research, and you publish the paper. So I think self-driven research is much more in number. Then how do we get topics? My suggestion would be, we keep on referring current trends, day-to-day happening. I'll be citing some examples today also. And maybe like you get some insights, guided ideas through discussion with peer. And definitely we must keep reading current magazines, newspapers, so that we get to know the latest trend and something interesting happening. And we think whether those happenings can be converted to a doable research. We'll be discussing what are the possible research and if it is feasible or doable or not. Okay. Continuing further, how to get research ideas for a probable research project. As I have discussed, we have to, I think, study the latest trends. And maybe we have to read regularly research journals, news magazines, and we get some ideas. And there you may get 2 types of researchable issues. One could be conceptual, which later in the next session I will be defining as theoretical research, or problem-solving research, which will be putting it as applied research. Research broadly of 2 types, theoretical research and applied research. So you'll be getting also ideas, issues, this. I'll be starting with example number 1, which is very close to all our heart. And as a coincidence, as you may be knowing, for India, the massive COVID vaccination operation starts tomorrow. And I was really fascinated to get the data just yesterday from the newspaper and websites. As you all know that it's a massive operation. I'll be just very quickly running through these points, which I may not be using in detail. As you know that we have some base infrastructure, including human resource, which we call UIP, because we have been doing this for other viruses. And the existing infrastructure, what we have in India, is actually the largest of its kind in the world. We call it Universal Immunization Program. And as some of you might have read, it's not only the human resource. These vaccines have to be stored in cold storage, and you have to also manage the physical infrastructure like cold storage units, every state, every region. As we know, so far as the secondary statistics available till yesterday, we have got thousands of ANM, and the government, they have decided at least 60% of ANM will be deputed for this vaccination program, because all cannot be deputed because other vaccination program is also continuing. So they have decided minimum 154,000 ANM to be deployed first. And as you know that it has to be done very quickly. Moving further, let's not take much time here. As we all know, the two labs, Serum and Bharat Biotech, we are getting almost 16 to 17 million vials, and it costs around $2 billion. And as you must have heard or read the news, that all government establishments are going to be used, and next they will also be using community centers, wedding halls, mobile vans, polling booths, and whatnot. So what I'm just presenting, if this is a massive operation, and you need to be very meticulously planning things, and your plan is to vaccinate minimum, and the first stage, 30 million persons in India. So this is what like a diagram, which we are not going to discuss in detail. This is not part of our discussion. But why I'm asking is, now I would be trying to invite your inputs. Can anybody guess this case? Anybody finding anything which is worth researching?
Yes, sir. One is on the logistics. How will be the logistics be planned? What is the new logistics planning can be done compared to other ones? That can be an area of research.
Anything else?
Sir, in fact, normally when a vaccine is developed and implemented, normally the firm which is producing the vaccine is indemnified against any effects. But in this case, there is a plan that government may not indemnify, let's say, Serum Institute or anyone else. So it might lead to people not coming forth. You know, firms may not come forth and they might reduce. So is there an impact or not?
Can I, Anshuman, sorry to stop you.
Yeah.
Can I just take me a clue? Can I ask, developing most effective vaccine, can it not be part of our research?
It can be, sir. And what I was hinting at is...
Let me repeat. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have used the word our research. Okay.
Yeah.
No, actually, when it is like lab-based scientific research, I'm afraid we are not part of it. Okay. So like we have to like separate our potential and also limitations. Okay. Developing
Can I add? Subhadip sir, can I add, because we have a life science division in our. In fact, this is our research we are doing. How can we develop vaccines fast in 1 month's time? If a pandemic comes up tomorrow, some more pandemic might come up. In 1, 2, 3 months' time, can we have the technology develop a vaccine fast, do a research quickly, and turn around in 5, 6 months? There is a project we are working right now.
Wow! Thank you. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Okay.
I think can you just like emphasize where like the management professionals really come in? Can you just like take?
Yes. Management professionals come on. One is two aspects actually. One is the technical aspect where our scientists develop. How fast can it develop? Second is for them to develop. What are the support they require? Whether in terms of new software, whether in terms of collaborating with some international immunologists, other things. We are working on that. Number one.
No, I'll be a bit specific.
Sure.
Where management science, management discipline as social science comes in.
Okay, so I have to rephrase because I'm more from the application point of view looking at it. Management science comes up is how quickly can we turn around in terms of addressing the stakeholders' interest.
Wow, great.
Stakeholders, who will be the stakeholders? The government is a stakeholder, the public is a stakeholder, so also our investors are stakeholders. So addressing these three, how can we turn around in 6 months' time in case a pandemic hits us? We are addressing that. I just summarized it into a one statement.
Thank you, thank you.
Sir,
Actually,
Abha
and Prashant.
Yes, sir. Actually, presently the recovery rate from COVID-19 is around 95%, and the same efficiency of the vaccine is around 95%. So there is a I can think of that. If I want to be vaccinated, so what are the factors that will guide me to be vaccinated from my own interest? So here I can say my dependent variable will be.
Well taken. Abha, quick.
Sir, I have a thought just by listening to you and my friend Chandrajit. Nowadays we are developing vaccines for COVID, but also you would have seen across world we are developing new COVID, new issues with mutated corona topics. So we can also invest some thoughts to develop vaccines for those areas.
Okay. Actually, true. Yeah. Astha,
we can take cost factor into consideration.
Wow.
Depending on the time frame.
That is better. Okay, I'm taking over just to save time. Thank you so much, those who have contributed. I'm sorry, like others might have also planned to contribute. Actually, through the examples that we are discussing now and we are to discuss in the next slides, we have to refine our thinking that which can not be done by us and what can perhaps be done by us. This is the purpose of presenting these examples. And we should filter. You take one area, broad area, and we have to confine, we have to understand what we cannot do, okay, and what we should do. Say, for example, if you have thought of something that what exactly can be done by us and how it should be done. How it should be done means the methodology, how it should be done. Okay. Now, is it a part of applied research, which I just introduced, and I'll be repeating again in my next session? Applied research means problem solving, or it is something like a case study research. Now, the entire distribution, as I presented today, is a massive distribution. How it is handled, it's purely part of management, how you manage the operation. Okay, the total is unique and it may not be repeated like this. Say, for example, what is going to happen tomorrow is preceded by how the vaccines have arrived at that place, how we are managing the manpower. Okay, this is part of us, this is part of the management. Now, the entire operation can be taken as a beautiful case study research also. Okay, and also you can take for the minute cases like functional areas. I think somebody Astha was suggesting about the cost aspect and econometric optimization theory, and somebody was also telling the impact. Okay, now even I think some of you might have gone through this PPT, I think, which I revised today morning by putting some screenshot of the newspaper. There could be some barriers, and people may not be interested. Suppose, for example, government has money, government has decided willpower, but people may not take. Then what will happen? So there is not the scientist, but the social scientist to do something. Okay, there could be some prejudice. Okay, I think if I show you the next slide, it will be more clear. Now there is lot of hesitancy all over the world if you check the news, it's not only India, everywhere you have got like the hesitation. And initially, the hesitancy percentage was very, very high, as high as 60%. Now, as many agencies have tested and come up with some positive stories, news, and that hesitation is now reducing. It's a nice observation. On this also, some research can be done. Now, why people are hesitating? What are the barriers? Okay, so here our role comes. Now, let me introduce one of my research projects which we are conducting. It's funded by United Nations, which we are doing here. Our over dependence on nitrogen fertilizer, mostly in South Asian countries. What should be done so that the people or the farmers should think of alternatives to the nitrogen? So what are the barriers why they should not use fertilizer? That's what we are studying now across 7 countries of South Asia. Okay, so there our role comes. This is also equally important. Suppose you have invested money, you have found fantastic vaccine, but people are afraid. So what should be done? So you also have to be very, very careful whether it is inclusive program or not. Okay, so there are like a lot of things can be coming to play. Now I'll be giving a second example regarding pollution. This is something like some 2 years back, some reports came. I think those who remember, I think that was India-Sri Lanka cricket match happening in Delhi. Can anybody remind me what happened? I think Sri Lankan players, they almost decided to boycott the match, and they were about to leave the ground. Am I correct, Chandraji?
Yes, sir. And also they practiced with the mask on also at that time.
Yes, just to have a symbolic protest kind of thing.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So the statistic, if you see, Delhi air pollution, how it cuts 17 years of life of poor Delhi Valley. Okay, so this is what like the report comes. And these are the figures which I should run through very quickly. And but the most unfortunate quote here: let us not create a fear psychosis among people. And the person, our minister, doubted Indian studies. The minister is quoted like this: Indian studies have not shown a correlation between shortening of life and pollution. Can anybody comment what are the 2 factors is mentioned here? Which 2 factors are studied, the interrelationship between the 2?
Yes. The degree of pollution and the reduction in the lifespan.
Wow. So can social scientists not do research on this? We can do it. We can do it. Simple. So now, taking a clue, we have to think, can we do some interesting research on this? And let me not mention here, and his comment was awfully criticized, and WHO really, they were vocal. They criticized his comments are untenable. I think you cannot question the researchers' findings. Okay, so this is what like we should also do the research scientifically. So social science, management science research also done scientifically. That's what I wanted to suggest here. Now, here study is around, can pollution be linked to mortality? So the cause and effect. Okay, the causal relationship establishment research is part of our management science, social science research. This is what I wanted to suggest as an example of some of the probable research which we can take or which we do actually. Moving forward, still older news. This actually I had used 2 years back for RM coursework. I thought I should repeat here also. I am sure most of you know the powerful Lady Chief Minister, Madam Jayalalitha. who was extremely powerful, and I should not quote the newspapers. And the present chief ministers, they run the government by keeping the picture of Madam Jayalalitha in their pockets. I think you know that. Now look to these pictures. These pictures, I think some of you may please recall. And the issue here is something why people actually committed suicide. Now, can you please think of what we can do as a researcher? Should we do a research on this? First important question is, in the picture, I am sure that most of you might have seen something like grief, extreme shock, extreme state of emotion, and some constructs like this. So I'm seeing from the picture, not as a newspaper reader, but as a researcher, I find what could be the extreme state of grief, shock, emotion, which might lead a person to take extreme decision like suicide. Okay, can it be some like antecedent or a cause, and we have some effect? Abha, am I making sense? Can you quote my last sentence?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
You're trying to.
Abha first, then Amlan Das.
Sir, actually, here I would like to say that as a researcher perspective, the most important part, what I feel that you have to just go for the root cause of this particular issue.
Wow.
Because
Great.
without knowing the root cause, like this is the psychological root cause or the behavioral root cause of the people. The behavioral aspect is associated with the common people regarding this political issue. So the most important part here is that you have to know the root cause, sir. Without knowing the root cause, it is impossible to get the further proceeding. It is very, it is highly impossible.
Wow. Before requesting Abha, can I trouble Sila Mandal, my dear student? Kya faida? You understand Sila? Why should we study a topic like this?
Yes, sir.
Why should we study
Yes,
a
sir.
topic like this? What benefit?
Sir, sir, skill knowledge, sir, and a lot of gain knowledge. That's why I choose.
Kya faida? Smriti, why one should read this? Smriti Mallar, is it having any benefit?
Yes, sir. First, we have to identify the root cause of the why the emotion or behavior of the people change according to that cause. So first we have to identify that cause. Then according to that, we have relate the behavior of the people to the cause.
Mr. Chandrajit, I think you wanted to say something.
Yes, sir. This is a fascinating study from management point of view on leadership and followership. There are different types of followership. So this can be an extreme followership and how it impacts the leadership also. This can be a good case study.
Wow. And also, the social scientists should prescribe what could be done to check this unfortunate extreme step called suicide. Can something be done so that this kind of accidents do not happen in society? So we have a responsibility in society to check this kind of accidents. Okay, so this should also be taken as a remedial study kind of thing. Okay.
Sir, if I may add, with your permission,
please.
One can also think about, is this kind of followership or worship limited to a certain part of a society or a country?
Wow.
Because that is something which we have more or less, by virtue of our experiences, we have seen not the first time. Many a times in that part of our country, things happen like this.
And that is going to also happen
in future. So I'm not generalizing, but it is possible that one can, fact.
Fine. My thinking is also in that line. Actually, I have just also taken Now, my point is, as a student of statistics, I would be actually covering how to measure those variables. Okay, to me, emotion, anger, grief can be measured. To me, they are variables. I'll be describing, explaining in my next session. Can we measure, as Anshuman suggested, the emotion of a Tamilian as compared to another like non-Tamilian? Is it higher, lower, like a particular region kind of thing? So if it is varying, then it is a variable. Okay, how do we measure this? So this is like part of research methodology that we are going to discuss in detail later. Now,
Sir, we can suggest some factorial value, but it is
yes,
impossible to measure this grief, shock, and emotion. These factors are quite difficult to measure. But thing is that we can just give the factorial values assigned to it, so that it will be easier for us to evaluate.
I'm happy that you changed your answer in the second sentence. First sentence you told impossible, and second sentence you told difficult. I think difficult is a better answer. First sentence I won't accept. It is not impossible. And
Okay, sir, it is possible, but you have to just give the factors to to evaluate this particular assignment of this measuring parameters.
Can you switch on your video if network issue is not there?
Sir, actually, it's network.
Okay.
So when network will be okay, then I will just on this video.
I think we by this time you must have known each other. I think Ava is having a very fantastic family, sweet daughters. Now, if we ask daughter of Ava, whom you like the most, Papa or Mommy? So will it be equal? Amlan, I'm asking, or it will be different. Say, suppose the daughter tells as usual, Papa is my hero. Okay, so like she loves Papa better than mom. Okay, with due regards to mom, mom will be in the next room. So now, are you not comparing indirectly a construct called love, a variable called love?
Yes, sir.
So the amount is not same. Suppose I ask Mr. Amlan, you must be enjoying Hindi movies. There are 5 heroes, but you may not be liking 5 heroes equally. Okay.
Okay.
Your love, preference, all those qualitative variables we'll be discussing it, that kind of thing, should be measurable. Okay, those qualitative variables should be devising some method how to measure it. It is possible to measure. Okay, thank you for
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Setting it right. Now, what I was asking to my dear student Sila Mandal, the last one, why is it relevant to study kind of thing? We need to convince. Are you taking up a junk research topic or something like relevant, so that we ourselves should be convinced? Yes, it's one useful topic. Yes, it's relevant. Then how the appropriate methodology? I'm happy that some of you asked like it cannot be measured or it is difficult to measure. So we need to decide the methodology. Is it doable or not? And I may tell it that all research are scientific approach-based research, including social science research, management research, all are scientific research. Now, how to measure? I think this is the point somebody suggested correctly. Now, we'll be discussing later this, and we have to devise scale. That is part of our session. Now, these points, all of you, please note it down. I think the PPT is with you. These are the components of every research. Do I know the data source? From where I'll be collecting data? First is how to measure, what to measure, and from where to get where to measure, data source. Then you may not be collecting data from each and every person. You have to resort to a small section which you call sample, and for that you need to have a proper sampling plan. I'm indirectly covering some of the terms which I'll be presenting in the next class in a structured manner. That's what I have suggested today. So you just, through examples, I'm presenting the requirements of a research. Okay, the constructs, variables I told, we have to measure those variables, how to measure, data source, and we have to refer to a sample and we have to have a sampling plan. Here in this example, now we have to maybe like interested to compare this grief, shock, emotion varied. If you are comparing, maybe it's just a tentative suggestion. Is it equally across Tamil and non-Tamil, or ruling party sympathizer and opponents, women versus men, whether women committed more suicide or men, or is it varying across other demographic factors like age, child, other senior citizens like this? So we have to plan it what we are going to cover in our research. So we have to plan it properly. Are you going to take into consideration different demographic factors like this or not? Okay. Now this is what like somebody was asking. I'm so happy that it has already come out. Now how do I measure? If it is particularly the qualitative variables, do I have one instrument available, or I am to construct a new one, or a mixed one, which we call hybrid model for measuring those variables. Okay. Quickly, we'll be moving forward. I'll be citing a few examples just to suggest you how some interesting topics can perhaps be taken if you plan to do a small mini research project. I think somebody had asked like, should we take our doctoral research topic for the MRP? I would request him to please do ask me before we leave, that I would like to repeat and discuss it again in the context of these examples. Now, somebody had studied the emotional distance, again a qualitative construct between father and son. Now, somebody has studied over ages. It's a longitudinal study. I'll be telling you, defining you in the next session. Now, gradually, over ages, this emotional distance is getting breached. I'll be just elaborating a little bit here. In my time, when I was a child, I think some of you are also senior friends, we are very much afraid of talking to our father. Okay, so father, son, though we had respect, we are not as friendly as we are now. But when I became a father, some 30 years back, now when my son went to school, we are good cricket friends, and he'll be coming back from the school and just throwing the bag, and he'll be asking me to play cricket with him. But I never thought I'll be playing cricket with my father when I was a child. So the emotional, the distance is getting breached over here. Somebody is making a study like this, Sudhir Kaka, and I have quoted it some like at Times of India 10 years back. Now please see how interesting this is. Somebody has studied elevation makes people more caring. Abha, can I trouble you? Can you find two interdependent factors in the title of this slide? What are the two factors the researcher is trying to associate?
Elevation and care.
Wow. Actually, what they have studied, if one employee gets timely promotion, elevation means timely promotion, he or she becomes contented, happy, satisfied, and in turn, he takes more care of her subordinates. Suppose one is like disgruntled, unhappy, and not getting timely promotion, and he himself is demotivated. So now somebody has found a small study where like the research findings suggest elevation means timely promotion or incentives one is getting. It is linked to the helpfulness of that person. Okay, so now how they are doing it. Now I can continue, but through these examples, what I have tried to tell you that if you get some interesting topic, and if your objective is to have something new, create something new, and it is adding to the knowledge base, and it is should be self-motivated, and you should feel, "Okay, I'm so happy that I'm conducting a very useful, interesting piece of research." If I'm happy that the piece of research I have selected is really interesting, and I'm so like convinced that it is going to make some relevant finding, then I think that is the reward why research should be done. Okay, this is what I wanted to tell you through examples. Now, don't laugh me if I cite some examples of my own MBA students. And for research, one should not wait till Subudhi's age or Chandradish's age, and one can start a very young age. Even also our MBA first year students, some of them, those who join MBA program, they aim for corporate life, but some of them, I don't know how, they maybe like take some of us as a role model, and they really take interest in research. I can cite many MBA students of KSM who have done wonders in research. What we have not done, they have actually done. I'll be showing some examples. One I won't mind citing Soumak is a batch of 11-13. And as you can see the background, he made it to Harvard, okay? And I have not visited Harvard so far. Now, I have just borrowed it from his Facebook post without his permission, of course. I told him later that I am using your Facebook post later in kind of thing. So the exclamation, which you can read here, I should not waste your time. You can just see that he was nominated representative of the editorial board on India-USA economic relation. So this is what like the satisfaction what I am citing here. And as you can see, he came back again after 4 years, and he has published a book, and he thought of presenting a book to me. And that is the reward that I think that this is the self-motivation of research. This is what we started today, why research. And you get the greatest satisfaction when you get this. Of course, the changes in Soumak, those who can please see, he has actually lost some hair here and here. So this is what maybe like because of research kind of thing. Okay. Now, what I'm just indirectly hinting at, that some of you also can do wonders and make us proud. I'll cite some of my senior scholars here. And this is what actually the usual classroom which happens here. And can you locate the teacher in this picture? The teacher is not teaching. The scholar is teaching here. So that will happen in all our classes. So please get prepared. So there will be in turn, all of you have to teach all of us. And you have to select a topic. So we really make it like this so that you are passionate and you tell something about the research. So this is what the usual classroom, what we have in KSM. And you can look at here, and Sumita madam will be somewhere here. So we are the backseaters, and the scholars take the lead. Actually, this is the class that we make it happen, and you enjoy teaching us on research actually. And that happens on your own research project, that you have decided something interesting, and you are uncontrollable to tell that eureka kind of thing. I have got something new, and I have to tell you. This is what like that happens in our research class. And this is one, I think Manoj, who is a faculty member here, also is doing research here, and he is a passionate researcher, Manoj. And I would be citing one of the senior scholars who did RM course 2 years before you. And I was telling there is possibility of converting your research project. This is what like he had done in this RM course MRP, minor research project, what I was telling in the morning. And he worked on that, and he converted into a Scopus Index journal, Indian Journal of Marketing, and he shared with us. And that is the reward, and that is what like self-satisfying research, what I meant actually. Now, today I have made some last-minute change in my slide. Just I had forgotten yesterday. So we also have got a small research journal. At least you can make it to that. So those who are doing some MRP for our own research methodology paper, you do it neatly so that at least we should be published at least, and you can make it to better journals also. So I would request you all, please find time and see all the back volumes and of our journal. I think today morning I have shared the last year issue, which contains a compilation of all PhD thesis abstracts, who was done on which topic, so that you can have idea what is the trend of research being done at KSM and who are the guide. Please have a look. This I have, for your convenience, I have sent the entire volume to you. This is last year's issue. Please go through that. And we hope that after completion of every batch, you will be gaining something in a lighter vein. Whether you gain or not, we gain a lot. And I would say this is what our reward, Professor Sumita and me thought of, like, why not capitalizing what we're discussing and contributing here. So this is the result and the benefit of what we got, and we thought of publishing a book on research methodology, and Emerald came forward to publish it. And thanks to the different batches of RM students, actually they have inspired, and what we have been discussing, and the RM workshops, what we will be doing it, and we invite many experts, and this is a compilation of the contribution of different kind of. So this is one of the output of RM course, and me and Professor Sumita really give much priority to this particular paper. Okay, now I think I've got another 30 minutes. Smriti, you remind me before 10 minutes, 11:20 you should remind me. I'll be quickly running through a few success stories. I think those who are into marketing, I must advise you to please go through the work of Aradhana Krishna. She is from Delhi School graduate, and then did masters from IIM. Then she moved to US. She is one of the top 50 marketing research scholars of the world. I guess like you would be loving to go through the work and the citations, immense reputation she is getting, particularly on this sensory marketing. It's something like a new area, and one of the pioneer work has been done by Aradhana Krishna. And please go through her work. This is what like her website and some of the work. I think this is the profile. I really liked her work, what she has done. And in your respective area, in the next session, I would be requesting, suppose somebody is from economics, I would request who are the best scholars in economics from India and abroad. You have to have a collection of their profiles. I would be requesting to have, and maybe like share in the next class among others. Aradhana Krishna, or doctoral research, is on the torch effect. Let me briefly introduce her innovative work. Say, for example, I think Chandraji was suggesting something interesting work they are organizing doing. Suppose some product like soft drink you are presenting, and the container matters much. Suppose it is in a paper container, plastic container, or something like aluminum or whatever. So does the torch effect matter significantly? Is it increasing, boosting the sales or not? So this is what like if the content or the container or both are important, that's what she wanted to study, and that was part of her research. I think C.R. Rao is a statistician. Because I'm a student of statistics, he's actually a role model. So sorry I have taken him because I liked him. I met him also lucky. He has just completed 100 years. He's alive, and I'm so happy and blessed that I...
No, sir, we have read some of his articles also. We follow here.
Thank you. Only 4 months back, we celebrated his centenary birthday, and I was part of the centenary invited talk. I had the opportunity of delivering one centenary invitation talk. He's such a gentleman. I think very briefly, he has got more than 37 true honorary doctorate. and he has got dual citizenship. Those who may be knowing, Andhra government, they have named one road in the name of C.R. Rao, and there is one institute in the name of C.R. Rao. Anyway, so he has done a lot of.
Sir,
yeah, please.
Can I add a funny example, sir, on this context?
Yes, yes.
Yes, the container matters, sir, because if you ask me, when I used to eat dahi vada, I like to get it in the leaf instead of any steel vessel or something else. So, just to add a lighter note.
I would suggest, if possible, think of like dahi vada. Is it having a brand, Kotak dahi vada or anything kind of thing? And does it matter also? We should do some research. I think
It matters. If you look at, I'm sorry, if I'm deviating. If you look at the phones, the latest smartphones are coming. They are giving equal emphasis on how you hold the phone, how you put your sensor, the grip also. It should fall down, not fall down. So yes, it matters. Similarly in food industry also, but I thought yes, it matters a lot.
Thank you, thank you. Moving forward, I'll just like I have put it here randomly taken. It's not that they are the best person. So very randomly, there is no logic because I know them. So I have just put some names. They are not like a role model kind of thing. They are very young. So and all are known to me. Arpan is a very young scholar. He's from Odisha, now working at IIT Delhi, Department of Management Study. And whenever time permits, please look to his publications. I had invited him for my seminars, and he should be also joining in our international conference. He is a fantastic scholar and very young, and a lot of citations. Actually, when you judge the scholarly publication of a research scholar, please refer to the Google citations minimum. How many citations the person is having, that speaks of his scholarly contributions. Okay, Arpan, I think you can visit here, and one of the parameter is I-10 index, HI index is a very high citation. He's a very young, and his total publication citation has exceeded over 2,700 plus. Quite amazing, actually, something like which I cannot dream. So he's a very young fellow, and entire career is also there. I wish him good luck. And I had invited him for one of my seminar. He should be also speaking to us in the coming international seminar. Manoj Das from Barampur, he's actually my MBA student. He's also doing great. He just now, I guess, like associate professor, and he has almost crossed 1,000 citations. So I had the opportunity of teaching him when I was at Barampur University. So he's also doing good. And please see, Manoj is my student, and Manoj's student is Anil. Anil was here in India. Now he has joined London Metropolitan University. And if you please see the citation, only last year, the sudden pickup when he moved from India to London, UK, and please see this bar and see the bar. This is how we'll be again discussing in my statistics class next session, how we interpret the C4 info these bars. A steady growth and something like a spectacular change in 1 year. So there is a complete transformation when he has found very interesting articles and published in very good journals. That's what like you are into the top echelon. Okay, this is what you got: good topics, you got good group, and you got good journals. Then you jumping high and steady growth. And this comparison we'll be discussing later. So this is like the metrics, how to understand the metrics as part of the statistical analysis. We'll be discussing later. Okay. Now, I think we have got a minimum 10 minutes. I had shared this slide. Can you please quickly read again, all of you, within 2 minutes, this small exercise we'll be discussing, and I request all of you to participate. Those who have not participated today should participate. Please volunteer. I think I had shared this PPT earlier. I expected that all of you should have gone through this. let me be very honest and candid. Let me tell you all, I do give some participation marking. Those who participate will be given some mark. So I would request you in advance, please participate and contribute to the academic discussion, please. Okay, there is a volunteer, Anshuman, please wait. Unless you are speaking, you need to mute yourself. There is some noise.
I am done, sir.
Okay, okay.
Sir,
Now,
this is Deepa, sir. I'm done.
okay, okay. Can I start from Deepa?
Yes, sir.
Anshuman, if you permit me. Deepa, then Gaurav, then Siddharth Chatterjee, in that order. Now, listen to my specific question. Now, please recall the way we presented today. we are getting a broad issue. We got some news item, and from that, can we have for some idea? Can we generate some research issue? What could be researchable from this kind of like topic? What are the emerging issues which you feel worth researching and doable? Am I clear?
Sir.
Please be quick and don't take more than 1 minute. Deepa first.
Sir, this is all about the way we are inculcating the tension at the same time just after the relieving from job. It is showing that we are just relieved from the tension, but the fact is the purpose of life or the employability or the his engagement time, which has been reduced just after retirement.
What we should be interested to know, research should be aimed at knowing something, knowing the unknown, which you don't know. Research is done to know something which is not known. Okay, what can be studied?
Sir, it was perceived that he will have the good time, but within the 2 years of his retirement, when he was inferring that.
Just to save time, Deepa, can I take info? People's perception is after retirement we get peace. Is it true that we are verifying? Like to start with. Though I requested Gaurav, I think Abha is uncontrollable position. I wanted to vomit something. Please.
Yes, sir. One research area could be distinguished between private sector managers and public sector managers.
Wow, thank you. Short and sweet. Gaurav, then Siddharth.
Yes, sir. I guess the straight question.
All of you can say pass also. If you don't have like something solid, you can say very honestly pass also. No problem.
Yeah. So the one thing which probably comes to my mind considering this problem is basically whether the emotional stress has any direct bearing on how many years or what is the age of a person or what impact it creates on age of the person.
Okay. Well taken. Siddharth, anything you want to add?
Sir, here in this particular perspective, if you tell me, this will be the basic research perspective here is to analyze the particular stress level. The stress level is the measure.
Well, fantastic. Well done. The amount of stress over years. Wow, great.
Sir, one more research angle can be one person who's having a long age of retirement, which are the diseases that are impacting that person, which body parts are is getting more impact, and from this research we can conclude that which kind of protection and what kind of policies can be done.
Like that. So that you prescribe some like geriatrics treatment.
Like yoga, stress management, etc.
Prashant, quick, half a minute, Prashant.
Sir, I can relate it to the Maslow's theory of human need. So
Okay.
can we reduce the age to reach the self-transcendence period, like 45, 50, this kind of thing we can be
Okay.
done?
I think it will be unfair if we do not give chance to Anshuman who volunteered to speak first. Then Shreya.
We can also
Then
have
Shreya.
a study on the work environment. We can also have a study on the work environment that an individual goes through and the stresses that comes along with the work
environment.
with his
Okay,
work.
fine.
Yeah, because one of our
then
colleagues
Shreya Simran.
mentioned,
Fine. Well taken.
Yeah, so quick 10 seconds. So I think one can also study the level of a person in an organization and the overall well-being, the impact of level and well-being, the relation between that.
Wow.
On a lighter note,
The management like cadre. Okay.
Right, sir. What is the correlation, if at all there is one?
What is your feeling?
Sir, I think
we should more the tension.
Sir, time to retire, sir.
Subhadip
So
sir, can I?
60.
Can I contribute?
Yeah.
Actually, this is a fascinating research project. If I have to do a research, I will look at various retirement ages and a person's fitness level. Fitness can be physical fitness, mental fitness, financial fitness, and his age of death. And then I do a correlation analysis.
Wow, great. Shreya Simran, the last speaker.
Yes, sir. I think it was answered just before I was about to answer. I was going to talk about the mental wellness, like before retirement and after retirement, and like to summing up all, like, the stress level and the health level, the physical and everything. So I think it was just answered before me.
Astha, you wanted to say something quick? Half a minute.
We can also look into our pay structure for private organizations as well as government. Whether it should be like more focus into current wages plan or our retirement plans, because it doesn't matter later.
Only the pay structure.
The wages.
With due respect, and I accept it with all academic respect. And you
So
can
one thing more I would like to add.
Give me Sila, just give me half a minute.
Yes, sir.
You can take me, Astha, as your respondent, if at all you are conducting a survey on this. This fool, Subudhi, has switched over from government job to private kind of thing, okay? So salary almost same. Actually, there I was having a lot of idle time. I think I have not introduced myself. When I was in Berhampur University, I had sufficient idle time. So I started writing poem, story and whatnot in Odia. So I might have written 300 articles in Odia in past 10 years. I wasted my academic kind of thing. And I thought I should move to academic research kind of thing. Okay. So it's not only money, the environment, somebody, Chandrajit also suggested. Okay, money is kind of thing. And someone suggested the hierarchy or level or the position you have, the responsibility, all those factors should be also considered. Okay, let me proceed here. I think somebody has done this. Now, if you thought of your specific research objective, what you want to do, and you have taken a small sample like this, I would request you, this data, all of you should store it in your Word file or Excel file. I will definitely ask you to do some numerical sum in session number 4 or 5. And we will be doing it in correlation, whatever, applying our knowledge of KIIT or statistics as part of research analysis. Now see, suppose Astha and Sheila Agrawal and Sheila Mandal. Sheila Mandal, you are there or slept? Sheila, you are there. Sheila, I will mark you absent unless you respond. Okay, now just have a look by mere inspection here. Can you infer without using any statistics? Chandrajit, Anshuman in that order.
So I'm seeing a quick analysis here as the retirement ages increases. The age of death also comes down. So it's an inverse correlation I'm seeing it.
So what should we conclude? What we should suggest?
Early retirement.
Early retirement, I think at the right one, at the right place. But then this is only one factor. There will be other factors, I'm sure. So there will, from this factor, maybe early retirement at 50 can be appropriate.
Govind Sharma wanted to say something. Govind.
Yes, sir. I wanted to say that wellness, workplace wellness is very important. It's not just about retirement age. Also, how healthy is workplace, where an organization need to focus. Because when we see the entire things, it's why the death is happening for those people who are retiring late. It's not just due to the retirement, but the factor causing for the death can be like mental health, and that's why the focus need to be there too, not just on lowering the retirement age.
Okay. Okay. Before I request Pratyusha and Sheila, they are volunteered to answer. Now, can anybody comment on Govind's comment, particularly Abha, Anshuman, and Chandrajit? Hope you have listened to Govind.
Yes, sir. I think he spoke about wellness as one of the areas where so like I was suggesting.
No, let me complete. Don't
Sorry,
forget.
sorry.
I think I'm happy that you have remembered what he has told. Can we conclude based on this data? No, what
sir.
I'm asking, see, what data you have got, what conclusion you are inferring based on your data, we can conclude that. We cannot add something else what we have not done. Not done. Govind. So what you are suggesting, perhaps we should add some more factors like wellness. Suppose, for example, somebody died early. Was he or she physically unwell? So we have to also check the physical, not only the age, also the physical state of that person. So it's not only one X. Smruti, note it down. You remind me when I'm going to take it off in the next. It's a simple bivariate correlation and multiple regression. Okay. Smruti has to remind me, can I add it something like X1, X2 versus Y? Okay. The Y depends not only the retirement age, we also add like Anshuman suggested something else, and Satish also suggested something else. So we go on adding so many factors, and you relate it. Is it something related to when we die, or the early death, or the prolonged life kind of thing? So now this debate helps us in this class like this. If you please participate, I'm so happy that I'm getting some new information from you. I'm really so happy. So this second column, I'll be terming it as a dependent variable. Smruti, you please note it down. So the second column in my next subsequent classes, I'll be treating it as my dependent variable. Why? And here in this example, please allow me just half a minute, and it's not only one X, one independent variable. I have sufficient ground, as suggested by some of you. I should add many independent factors. Okay, over to Amit Das.
Yeah. So I would like to bring in a new perspective here, Professor, if you may allow me. I think the definition of retirement itself is a big factor. The way we define retirement in our mind. If you
Yes.
look at the way today's generation, especially the millennials and the Gen Zs that we find at the workplace, they don't look at retirement the way we, our Gen X, have looked at retirement. So I think that retirement is more to do with the active involvement of physical as well as mental being at the job or the workplace that you define for yourself. I think that's what retirement is. So that, in my mind, will have a big differentiating factor in the outcome of the research that we are talking about here.
No, point well taken, but I would supplement here, Amit Babu. Actually, here the person who has collected data, he or she must have defined retirement age means when he or she left job. Okay, that date, age kind of. Okay, it has to be defined. So, but we can have our own definition later. Okay, yes.
Yeah. Free from obligations and responsibilities.
So one factor for statistics point of view we have to do
makes
is that
engagement also.
pandemic years also, like exceptional years, we need to factor it out because there are exceptional years from statistics point.
So we'll be studying why it is not limited to bivariate study, why it warrants, deserves a multi-factor, multivariate analysis here. Quick, I think Sheila, Prashant, and Pratyusha wanted to say something. Then Deepankar last. In that order, please take only 1 minute each.
So basically, I would like to add on point over here, like job satisfaction is a very important factor that will decide the age of death of a person.
Okay, so you want to add one more factor that is called construct. Okay, fine. Over to Prashant, half a minute.
Sir, I will add retirement intention can be a thing which can be studied because
Retirement intention, though it is my first period, because all of you are graduates, experienced graduates or postgraduates. Retirement intention, will it be a dependent variable or independent variable? Those who know a little bit of
dependent variable. It will be a dependent variable, sir.
Dependent variable.
So many factors, so that will be discussed in another example. Okay.
Sir, we can independent variable may be age, wealth, liabilities.
No, what I'm suggesting now, that could be another example. Okay. So now here somebody has taken different dependent. Pratish sir, be quick.
So I mean, like, does quality of work life will be affecting the retirement age and the age of the death? Because if we get in conducive climate over with working within certain period of time, we can have a happy and a peaceful life going on. So I mean, does it anyhow support?
God willing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay. Thank you. Deepa, you wanted to say something? Half a minute.
Sir, I would like to add the engagement level. Like earlier, when we work, we are fully engaged, and the moment we stop working, we are not engaged. And when you retire at the age of 50, you get something else to do. So you get engaged somewhere else. But when you retire at the age of 55,
I'm sorry. I think somebody should note it down. Deepa, yourself, please note it down. And I think I was discussing later with Smriti. We cannot assume ourselves. Okay, when you are deciding some construct variable, it should be based on the existing data. How do you know this? Okay, that is an interesting point. This is something like a confusion many scholars, including me, we also face. We cannot assume many things. Okay, so this somebody should remind. I think me and Professor Sumita will clarify this interesting. I think somebody else, Dipankar Babu wanted to solve it. Sorry, I kept you waiting. Dipankar Das. Dipankar Das. Are you there? Smriti, you wanted to say something?
Sir, can we conclude here, like the earlier someone retired, the more years he or she can alive.
Okay. Something the conclusion Dr. Cheng had.
No issue, sir. Stand. Like, sir.
Yeah, please. Yes, please.
Yes. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, please tell.
Yes, sir. Sir, retirement age can be kept as a constant, but there are other factors also which affects the death. It's not only the working people's.
I think you have got a network issue. That's what we have discussed actually. Other friends Dipankar Babu, I think you have got network.
Can I tell something?
Yeah, please. Be quick.
Yes. I think retirement age is an independent variable.
They are also
please allow MC to speak.
In terms of
Hello.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. Retirement age is an independent variable, and it has so many factors. One of the factors, I think, the status of the manager or the position of the workers. It depends. The age of days is the dependent variable. The retirement age affects the days age.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think we need to stop here. Professor Sumita ma'am will be taking over after 10 minutes. This is what all of you please note it down. The PPT is with you, and this is what we expect. And I started today that as part of the assignment number 1 from my side. Please think of, I think Amit Das or somebody was asking, can you take our own doctoral research project topic? Yes, no problem. But if you can take a smaller issue, the way we discussed today, and identify the topic, and it should be something new, okay? And please write a small para, maybe half a page, the finer points, issues on particularly what and how your proposed research may be conducted or carried out. Okay, and that includes the background, the context setting, and the relevance. You have to like justify why you have selected this topic. So this is what is expected, and don't do it hurriedly now. Listen to us for next 2-3 sessions, then only you can be in a position to come up with, after that para, you have to phrase.
Subhadip sir, we lost you.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
So it's not audible.
Sorry, I'm not audible. Smruti.